Vlandy has delivered a blunt message to clubs complaining about the trend, effectively telling them the solution is to fix their discipline rather than blame the refs. The ARLC boss maintains the 6 again rule is important for speeding up the game and keeping the ball in play, which he sees as a positive for rugby league. It's always the way, isn't it? Something so great that adds so much to rugby league initially, where we go, wow, yay, the wrestle's not here anymore. Sometimes we just push the pedal too far. However, NRL clubs and coaches have raised concerns about the spike in 6 again calls, some arguing it is changing the flow of games and causing momentum blowouts. Also, it is the biggest winning margins, average margin we've seen in 25 years of the game, which is very, very concerning. Very concerning, especially when we saw such a great year last year. ARLC goes, the 6 again rule is important for speeding up the game. So what they do is they position the argument of, we're for 6 again, you want the 6 agains completely eradicated from the game. When no one is saying that. No one is saying that. Matter of fact, I reckon if you did a poll and say, did 6 agains make the game better, just in general, I think most people would say yes. What people are arguing is changing that 20 metres from 40 to 20 has completely blown out how many 6 agains, and also it's making these momentum shifts just impossible to get a hold on. And the stats prove that. The biggest average winning margin over 2 rounds in 25 years. And I just think that we had a perfect balance last year. I just, for the life of me, do not understand why we needed to tweak again. Like, who was calling, even from the NRL's own mouth, best year we've ever had, greatest ever, everything's going so well. Who was calling for a change again to the 6 again rule? It boggles the mind. I don't understand it. Even when I read the quotes, it still doesn't make sense. No one is saying get rid of the 6 agains altogether. They're just saying that extra 20 metres is ridiculous.
Yeah, it should be quite plain and simple, right? And I'm a massive fan of the 6 again rule because I think penalties slow down the game.
Yep.
But if you're not going to give a penalty for something, don't give a 6 again for it. And if you're going to, I think a prime example, and this is someone who's a Tigers supporter, I thought the Cowboys were quite hard done by with 6 agains on the weekend. If to start the game as well, right at the start of the game, you're telling me the Cowboys were that ill-disciplined that they gave away that many 6 agains in the first 10 minutes that led to a player getting sin-binned.
Crazy.
Like, if you're not going to penalise someone, or if you wouldn't penalise someone under the old regime, it shouldn't be a 6 again now.
Yep.
Because you take the flow out of the game. Like the best games are those ones where you have one team goes, another team goes, and it's a survival of the fittest. And then that team that gets past that arm wrestle and can go on, they're the team that should win.
Yeah.
You take the arm wrestle completely out of it with the referee continually going 6 again, 6 again, 6 again, 6 again, right? Like it's pretty ridiculous. Like 100%, it should be there when there's when there could have been a penalty or a slight infringement. And we're blowing it for things that 4 years ago we wouldn't have been blowing 6 agains for.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. We were in such a good spot. And what's crazy is the best teams are already gaming it. They just go, okay, we'll give a 6 again away on tackle 1. Like a 6 again away on tackle 1 is essentially, my math's not great, but I'll just say 5 times less worse than a 6 again on tackle 5.
But do you know? Yeah,
and yet they're the same thing.
You wouldn't know why they do that. How important it is to win the first tackle of a set.
Oh, I definitely know why they're doing it.
You're kicking to a corner. Hey, we might give a penalty away here for being a foot offside, but hey, I'm smacking this winger and dragging him back 10 meters. They've got to then, the attacking team has to then fold around and then start working its way back again. You win that first tackle, you gain almost 3 tackles off that.
Yeah, and that's what I don't get, because the difference with a 6 again on the 5th tackle, like not all 6 agains are equal. They progressively get more damaging because of the amount of tackles that you have to. Whereas, like, I feel like with a penalty, at the very least, you got that little 30-second window of, I'll say 20 seconds of rest and recovery to go again. Like, let's say you gave a penalty back on the 1st tackle or the 5th tackle, that little 20-second window you've got to just catch your breath again, it just gave you enough time to work it all out. Whereas now, a penalty on the 1st tackle, a 6 again on the 1st tackle compared to the 5th tackle, it is night and day how damaging that is. And so I just, even with 6 agains, like, they're not actually an equal punishment. Like, you're punishing, so let's say I hold down an extra 1 second on the 1st tackle, and let's say I hold down an extra 1 second on the 6th tackle. They're the same thing, but this punishment is way worse. And so, like, how's that even fair? Like, the fairness of it all just doesn't seem right. I don't understand it. I think that the teams are already gaming it. Like, even little things, like, how often do we see, like, if they give away 6 again or a penalty or whatever, and someone wins that next tackle, they'll just give away 6 again straight away again, because they're like, all right, well, we'll go one extra tackle, but that extra tackle actually isn't more fatiguing because we won the first tackle.
No, it's so much more fatiguing, especially with people that play in the middle of the field. I would much prefer to do the one extra tackle, be offside on that first hit and drag them back and get them on their back, than them get a good first carry and then a good second carry. And as someone who's a bigger guy and someone who's running, continually having to chase my defensive line back because they're getting a roll on. I'd much rather, because once you get them on that first tackle, you will win that whole set.
You'll dominate the whole set. You just cram in. Now, granted, there are times when sometimes a great run or a great bit of ball playing,
a long shift,
whatever. But like, very rarely does that happen. I just think that the system's getting so gamed by the better clubs, and you might say, well, every club should do that. Yeah, maybe they should, but
then we're gonna have a problem where they go, oh, we're not doing enough 6 agains because there's all these things happening, and like, you can't. At the end of the day, refereeing is a subjective thing. Every referee is different, and every referee is going to referee different. If every club starts doing that and starts, taking advantage, giving away the 6 again tackle, we're all going to complain that they're giving. There's going to be a 6 again in every set. We should just do 7 tackle sets then. Like,
it's fair. And I think as well, like, the good thing about in the 40 is that if you're just like, oh, we'll just give a penalty away on the first tackle, at least I get to kick it up the field and get an extra 20, 30 metres and get out of my in goal, like get out of that period of that part of the rugby league field. And so, again, like, it's just the punishment and the reward is just not equal. Like, if I'm an attacking team and I get I get a 6 again on the first tackle, it's almost like, who gives a shit? I don't care. But if I get a penalty on the first tackle, like it used to be inside the 40, I get to kick up the field and I've got an attacking set going forward. Like, it just,
you either put the whistle away completely or you do what we have at the moment, right? There's no in between.
It's got to be the 40. It's got to be the 40. I think the 40 was a good middle ground where in attack we've got this flowing footy. So when we've got good ball, we don't have to worry about stopping and starting all the time. However, coming out of their end, it's essentially an equal reward where if I get a penalty on the first tackle, the third tackle, or the fifth tackle coming out of my own end, I get to kick the ball 20 metres. We both have 20 seconds rest. We go again.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
I just don't get it. I don't know why they changed it. It doesn't make any sense. And the only thing I can think of is the reason why it's unbalanced the game so much. It was supposed to be a package deal that came in with the kickoff rule, which was if a try is scored against you, you can tell them to kick off to you if you want to, or you can choose the kickoff. But I'm not a fan of that either, because I actually don't think that's going to have as much momentum shift as they think it's going to have. But I think that there's a world where away, and we spoke about this in a conspiratorial fashion because we don't know, we're just guessing. But like, if I am a ref that subconsciously wants to give this team that's completely under the pump momentum back, if let's say a double gets scored on the second try, they can choose to get the ball, receive the ball rather than kick it. And then, maybe subconsciously, because I want the underdog to get a bit of a leg up, he gets that 6 again inside his 20. Whereas when you have the penalty rule, it's not the same. You don't have as much control. The penalty, it gets replayed constantly for the audience to see. And they're like, hang on a sec, like that wasn't a penalty. Why are we getting so, I don't know.
I know you said you're guessing just there and it's speculatory, but it's actually not. When you look at rugby league over however long, you never really see, maybe once every couple of weeks, you see a penalty count blow out and it really favor one side. But that's not how it works in games. You might get heaps of penalties in the first half. They swing every time.
Yeah, of course.
They swing every time. And teams don't just all of a sudden get
super undisciplined.
Yeah, super undisciplined, right? Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's anyway, look, I will say this is one area where I actually don't blame the refs. Like, I think that this is more of a top-down culture that's being pushed onto the refs rather than a decision that a lot of refs are making, I think a lot of refs, like, they grew up with the same footy that we had. So anyway,